Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing great. If you are new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're also welcome. So today I'm going to show you how to cut and sew a front twist maxi dress. So for this project, I'll be working with this basic bodice pattern. This is for the front and this is for the back. The measurements needed for this project are your shoulder, your bust measurement, your bust point measurement, waistline, the front half length, and the back half length. So here is my chest line where I have my bust measurements. This is my bust point line and my waist. So at my waist, I added 2 inches that allowance. The waist I'm working with is 32. The bust I'm working with is 39. Okay, so I divide my waist by 4. That is a 32 divided by 4. It will give me 8 inches. I added 2 inches that allowance. So that is what you're seeing here, 1 inch on each side of the dart leg. Okay, so I extend to the bust points line. Can you see? So the dart you're seeing here is the difference between the front half length and the back half length. The front half length is 18 inches and the back half length is 16 inches. So the difference is 2 inches. So that's the dart you're seeing here. That's the bust dart you're seeing here. Okay. So if you want to learn how to draft a basic bodice pattern, I'll be leaving a link at the description box. Okay. If you don't understand this pattern, what the method I'm using is the bust dart technique. Okay. So if you want to learn how to do this, there's a link at the description box. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut all the waist darts, and I will close the bust darts so I can transfer the dart to the waist. So this is it. And see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to close this bust dart. So I have extra, I folded it in. I have extra paper, I folded it in because I'll be needing it if the side seam, the side is, if I have shortage by the side, I can use it to complete that. So I'll go ahead and close my bust dart this way. You see, you can see there is a shortage here. That's the essence of leaving extra paper, extra space. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close it. Close the that's using my tape. Can you see? So next thing is to extend to the chest line. Can you see? So I'm going to cut off this excess I have here. So for this pattern, I've already added the seam allowance, both the side seam allowance, the shoulder allowance, the armhole allowance, and even the at the waist I added allowance to join to the lower part of the gown. Okay, so this is it. The next thing I'm going to do is to place my pattern on my fabric. So this is the fabric I'll be working with. Is more than 3 yards. So this is how to place your pattern. Can you see? This is my neckline, my armhole, and this is the waistline. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to extend that to the length of 40. That is how long I want it, so that by the time I'm done, I'll be able to tie it to the back and also have enough. Okay. So for me to do that, I need a perfect straight line. And how do I get the perfect line? I'll first of all measure the distance of the dart, which is 4 inches. Can you see from here to here is 4 inches. Now for me to get the perfect line for the dart, what I'm going to do is to measure this part, the center front to where the dart start from, and what I have in there is 3 inches. Can you see? And from here to here is 3 inches. What I'm going to be doing next is to start marking 3 inches from the center front. I'll be marking 3 inches down to the length of 40. And when I'm done doing that, on that line I mark, I will now measure 4 inches and I will start marking again on this side down to the length of 40. So by the time I'm done, I will have a perfect straight line, okay? So that by the time I fold, I won't be having any issues. And before I fold that, I'll also add 0.5 seam allowance on each side of the line, okay, as a seam allowance, okay. So I've already done that. I've already marked it out. I don't know whether you can see it. Let me bring my camera down closer so that you can see the line. I don't know whether you can see the line. So this is the line. So I marked 3 inches down to the length of 40, and on that line I placed my tape again and marked for 4 inches down to the length of 40. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut it out. So when I get to this point, I'm going to cut this way. Can you see? Can you see? This is one side of the dart. So I'll go again and cut this side, adding my 0.5 seam allowance. So please keep watching. At this point, if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Can you see? So I'm going to go this way. Can you see? Can you see? So this is our dots. I'll continue down. Can you see? Can you see? So this is the front. Can you see how the front looks like? Can you see? Can you see the front? Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the back. So for the back, there is no much work at the back. What I'm going to do is just to place my pattern and cut this out. So when I'm done cutting, I'll come back and show you what to do next. So I'm done cutting the back, as you can see. And you see, I added a 1 inch dot allowance at the waist. So this is it. You can see. The neckline I'm using here is 3.5 by 1 inch. Okay. So I want to quickly show you the full front. So this is how the full front looks like. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go and cut the lower part of the gown. Can you see the full front? You can see. So when I'm done cutting the lower part, I'll come back and show you how to sew this upper parts. Okay, it's quite simple and easy. So for the lower part of the dress, I'll be the lower part is going to be an A-line. It's going to have an A-line shape. But if you want yours to, if you want to cut yours flare, you can go ahead and do that. I don't think I have enough fabric for that place, so I'll be cutting it A-line. Okay. So I'm going to fold now. So like I said, I'll be cutting the lower part an A-line shape. Okay. So for the waistline, I remember I'm working with the 32 inches divided by 4 will give me 8 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance will give me 9.5, and I'll mark. So this is where I have my waistline. Okay. So at that point, I'll take my hip measurement, which is 9 inches, mark, take my round hip, which is 44 divided by 4 will give me 11 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance will give me 12. So this is 12 and a half, sorry. So at the hemline, I'm going to add 5 inches to that 12 and a half because that's how much I want it to be, as in how much wide I want it at the hemline. So 5 plus 12 and a half should give me 5 plus 12 and a half should give me 17 and a half. Okay, I'll make it 18 inches. So I'll mark 18 inches here at the hemline. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing. So this is my hemline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect waist to hip, hip to the hemline to form my A-line shape. So this is it. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'll be using this front to cut the back. I'll only add a zipper allowance at the back, center back, okay? So that will be the only difference between the front and the back. Okay, I'm done cutting the lower front, as you can see. Now, another thing I want you to note is that when cutting your front, the lower front, around your hip, add 1 inch is so that it will be free around that hip. But if you don't mind having it tight around your hip, you can as well skip that. I did not add any ease here because the fabric I'm working with is a stretchy fabric, okay? So if you are working with a non-stretchy fabric and you want it to be free around your hip, please go ahead and add your 1 inch ease plus your seam allowance. So that's that. So I'm going to go now and use this front to cut the back. I'm only going to add a zipper allowance at the center front, so that's the only difference between the front and the back. Okay, so when I'm done doing that, I'll come back and show you how to sew the upper front. So I'm done cutting the back. As you can see, this is the front and this is the back, the zipper allowance. So for the front, this is how to close the dart extension. This is how to close it. So at this point, I notched, I fold this way and I notch here. Can you see where I notch? I notch where I have my sides, the waist seam allowance, so that it will be easier for me to sew the belt without any struggle. Okay, you fold this way. Once you fold, you will see your that extension. Then you now sew by 0.5 down to the length of the down to the hem of the dart. Okay, that's the belt. Can you see? This is how to go about it. Can you see how I folded? Then you're going to do the same other side. Fold this way to get your dart. You notch so that it will be easier for you to sew. Then you sew down to the hemline and close it up. So I'll quickly go to my sewing machine and do that, and I'll show you how to turn it out. So I'm done closing the dart extension. As you can see, I've turned this one out, so I'll show you how to turn the other one out. So this is the one I've not turned out. So this is how to go about. Just put your finger here and drag it out. So this is it. Can you see? So this is how the front looks like when you're done closing your dart extension. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see how it looks like when you're done closing the dart extension? So this is the waistline. Can you see that the waistline is on its own? Can you see? This is the part I notch, and this is the other side. Can you see? You can see it's on its own. The belt is out of the way. Can you see? So to join the lower parts is very easy. So what I need to do is to bring the lower part this way, my waistline to the waistline of the upper part. Can you see? And I will join. I will join it. You can see that the belt is out of the way. It's not blocking anything. Can you see? It's out of the way. So when I'm done doing this, I'll give this a good press. I'm going to join to the back, fix my zip and the sleeve. The sleeve I'll be working with is just a short sleeve. It's not a long sleeve like the one you're seeing on the thumbnail. So when I'm done coupling the dress, I'll come back and show you the finishing. So I'm done sewing, as you can see. Can you see? So this is my that extension. That's the belt. Can you see? That's the second one. And you see how the waistline is. Can you see? Can you see? And this is the back. Can you see? This is the full length of the gown. So if you want to tie the belt, this is how to go about it. You cross it this way, and you see, and cross it this way. Then you tie it to the back. Can you see? So this is how the dress looks on the mannequin. Can you see the front twist? And that's the full length of the gown. Can you see? Looking so beautiful. So I'll loosen the belt so you can see how the front waistline is. Can you see? 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 If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video.